Hi everybody. I haven't done an update video on how everything's going with the chemo and such. So basically I had my fourth session of chemo a week ago, and they weren't able to give me my targeted therapies of Herceptin and Perjeta because my ejection fraction was too low, only 2% below the threshold where they allowed me to do it. So they have to redo another MUGA scan, which is basically kind of like a PET scan for the heart, but it just tracks the blood flow and how the left ventricle is contracting and ejecting the blood out. So hopefully when they redo that here in the next week or two, it'll show improvement, which it usually does. I'll be able to go back on all my treatments. I just only had chemo last time. I didn't get the other two targeted therapies, so only chemo last time. Um, so other than that, I mean, the only thing different from, number 3 to number 4 is I have a, when you do chemo and steroids, you can often get a oral thrush infection, which is like a fungal infection in your mouth. It's kind of little white spots, and it's just a little, we all have it in our bodies, but the chemo and the um, steroids, they screw up the balance. And that's why a lot of people end up with diarrhea too, because the intestinal flora gets screwed up as well. So, yeah. But other than that, I'm doing okay. The oral thrush thing is I kind of am hoping it's not going to continue to get worse with the next 2 rounds, because I have not done 6 rounds of chemo in a row. I've only had to do 4 in a row. But since the cancer started coming back, they wanted to do the 6. So I should be getting another PET scan in the beginning of June, and hopefully that will show some remission, and then I'll get off chemo for a while. That would be awesome. But otherwise, the things that are kind of consistent with or without chemo is the diarrhea, and so that seems to be kind of becoming more manageable. It's kind of more scheduled. It happens more in the middle, between the middle part of my treatment, between day 7 and 14. So, which is interesting. The angular cheilitis, which is the cracks in the corner of the mouth, they're sensitive, but they're not out of control. I think the oral thrush this time was probably the worst thing, because I can't eat anything that with any kind of spice to it because it burns. But it does seem to be, right now at least, he seems to be kind of calming down a little bit. So hopefully my immune system is trying to balance it. I've done salt water gargles and also an antacid, chewable one that way I can kind of coat the inside mouth and reduce the acidity to help kill the overgrowth. But other than that, I haven't been really shaky, so I'm guessing the H&P caused the shakiness, because I haven't been shaky really at all, which is kind of surprising. I still feel a little weak. That I do expect, because the chemo itself stops the cells from dividing, and so when they don't divide, they end up dying, and so you have less blood to do the work for the body, so there's less energy available. But once those cells are gone and the bone marrow continues to do what it does, it produces new cells, those will continue to divide and produce the cells I need to have my energy back. Only other thing that I found was kind of strange this time is I'm a little bit more puffy in my face, and that was unexpected. I didn't really think that was going on, but I mean, it's not that bad, but it's there. Since this chemo rounds started, we're starting to get sun sensitivity or photosensitivity to the sun because of the medications, and it actually caused us to become very red on both sides, swelled up, and then the skin looked like it was burned. It was actually hot, raised, inflamed, and then the skin actually peeled later on. So I'm having to put sunscreen on every time I go outside, and every day I go outside. So, which is every day. But other than that, there's not too much going on. Everything else seems to be pretty stable. I'm just still doing my stuff. Still being productive member of society as much as I can. In the middle of the chemo cycle, you're going to be tired, and you're just going to have to take a nap once in a while. Um, but I'm kind of getting a routine down with what I can eat, when I can eat it, and then changing my diet right around the middle of the cycle, because then the diarrhea starts, and then I have to eat things that are easy to digest and to convert into energy, and that won't cause more gas or more cramping and more diarrhea. So it's like it's the Bratz diet, which is just easy to digest stuff. But the time leading up to that, I can eat a more normal diet, and the time after that, just fly in here, and I hate flies. It's already that time, and when you live on a ranch, flies are that's just how it goes. But anyway, so I'm learning when I can eat healthy foods and instead of just eating crappy food, because crappy food's not going to help me get better. But anyway, so I'm doing okay. Hopefully, I will get my next heart scan here in the next week and a half, and it'll hopefully be improved. And then I'll be able to resume my last two chemos with the H&P, the targeted therapies, and hopefully the cancer will really just kind of go like go hide and go away for a while, and hopefully I won't have to do chemo again for another year. That would be awesome, or longer would be even more awesome. But what happens happens. But other than that, just doing the same old thing, just you know, trying to be there for my family and my kids, and doing research for myself and trying to help people around me, have a happier, more fulfilling life. And it's just one of those things, you do what you can, and when you can't do that, you just find something else to do. So right now I'm just kind of putting around on my body. It's like I'm tired. This is day 7, so this is when we start hitting the crappiest part of the chemo cycle, when the body's just the most tired. So I expect to be tired, but I got a lot done before this. I was very, very busy the few days before this. So now that I'm coming up to this time, I'm like, okay, well, I can take a break because I got a lot of stuff done. I can do that without feeling like I'm being lazy. And I still get bored because I'd rather be out doing something than sitting here being lazy. But hey, you can only do what your body will let you do. And if you push it too far, it will. It will punish you. You will get sick. And I do not want to end up in the hospital. Mm-mm. So yeah, I try to listen to my body. If my body says it's tired, then I will just go take it easy, do a little bit at a time, and not push too hard. But when energy is good, I push it because I want to maintain my level of health. So anyway, so as soon as I know what's going on with my treatment, if there's any changes or whatever, of course I will update you. But as always, find your joy, share your joy, and spread it around.